Hi, John.
Hey, Alex.
Do you know what I hate?
What's that?
I hate movies featuring Draco Malfoy, but he's not Draco Malfoy.
I knew you were going to fucking bring this up. As soon as I saw him in the movie,
What movie is that?
Instantly mad. In Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Hit the music. Hey, right there, Scarhead.
Yeah.
That's for Draco Malfoy for the movies.
Yep.
Calls Harry Scarhead.
Yeah, and it took me a while to figure out who he was. And it was one of those things like, it's like a good pun is one that you make the other person work for.
Yeah.
You know, and then when they get, you know, you've made them go on that journey and they're just upset, and it was that. And like,
yeah.
Draco Malfoy did it to me.
Tom Felton is not only a wonderful actor, but I'm going to say the best American accent ever.
Sure. Beats Ewan McGregor's.
I was going to say, he's up there with Ewan McGregor and Tom Hardy for just 100% just sounds American.
Natural.
And Commissioner Gordon from the Nolan Batman,
right.
where just randomly he sounds like he's fucking some cockney asshole.
Mm-hmm.
So we watched Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
The second attempt to reboot the Apes franchise after the Tim Burton one.
Yeah.
This movie it's good, and it makes me like. I like the original Planet of the Apes, like the Charlton Heston ones.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like a well done movie with like good special effects and pretty decent acting.
Well, it really hinges on the special effects, and particularly Andy Serkis, because I think that's an interesting thing where there's an argument to be had or a discussion to be had about his performance versus what CG does to him doing that stuff. You know what I mean? Like how much of the expressions and whatever is added later versus him wearing all the ping pong balls in a green leotard and doing all that. And I'm sure there's like special features and stuff like that feature that. And you can really see what he does, but
yeah, I'm definitely not going to watch those.
No, me neither. But it's an interesting enough idea, and I love him in other stuff, even when he's just being Andy Serkis.
I love him as Andy Serkis. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah.
In this movie, another favorite character actor, just if I forget to bring him up, because he does show up in the film a bit, but David Hewlett, the next door neighbor pilot guy.
Runziker, I believe his name is.
Yeah, I think he is. I wish he was in everything. He was in. Did we do The Cube on the show?
No.
Okay. He was in that, but he was in Stargate Atlantis as Dr. Rodney Miller. And he is just, I love the man. He's one of those people that it's like, he just elevates anything he's in
he was great
on a weird
wacky,
level.
As the wacky next door neighbor.
Yeah. And he's so like, he's not good in this, but he's so good in, like, it's just great casting. It's like, yep, that's the exact guy that should be doing that thing. Like if he wasn't a monster, it's like what Jeremy Piven should have been.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. Where it's like, oh yeah, you're really good at being like that kind of just the guy that's got 4 minutes of screen time and you kill it. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
All right, so Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yes. My first foray into the Rise verse.
Mine, in fact, I've seen this movie twice. I've not seen the sequels.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're about the ape ones. I'm talking about the Rise verse. All the Rise of movies. Starting with back in 1934, Rise of Catherine the Great, Rise of Michael Rimmer, Rise of Taj, Rise of the Silver Surfer, Rise of Genghis Khan, Rise of Evil, Rise of Leslie Vernon, Rise of the Lycans, Rise of the Dead, Rise of the Machines, Rise of the Foot Soldier, Rise of the Damned, Rise of the Gargoyles, Rise of the Cobra, Rise of the Yokai Clan, Rise of the Fellowship, Rise of the Guardians, Rise of the Black Bat, Rise of the Technovore, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Empire, Rise of the Zombies, Rise of the Dinosaurs, Rise of the Sea Dragon, Rise of Bitcoin, Rise of the Craze, Rise of a Tomboy, Rise of a Warrior, Rise of Tadland, Rise of the Mask, Rise of a Star, Rise of the Phoenixes, Rise of the King, Rise of the Green Reaper, Rise of the Clans, Rise of the Superheroes, Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Rise of the Foot Soldier, Marabella.
If I may steal something from Blank Check with Griffin and David, plug, John, well done, 10 comedy points.
Thank you.
This movie, so have you seen the sequels to this one?
No.
Have you seen the original, when I say the Charlton Heston movies?
No.
So the only thing of Apes a-poppin' you've seen is this movie.
No, I've seen the Tim Burton.
So this movie, okay, here's the problem with this movie. This is where I'm kind of vacillating here. There's a lot of this happens and then a thing and then whatnot until basically up until the 5 years later. Mm-hmm. This is all right. So what happens? So it opens with them getting poached in the jungle. There's like a bunch of apes getting poached in the jungle,
right? Which is great because already
or captured, I guess you should say.
Already you hate humans. Because it follows just one ape, who I believe it ends up being Bright Eyes. It's her getting poached in the jungle. And it's done in such a way that you're already like, oh man, these humans are bad.
The feisty ape, as I refer to it, is caught. You turned out that is Bright Eyes, which is the first reference to the original Planet of the Apes, which is what the apes call Charlton Heston. They call him Bright Eyes.
Oh.
Before, when he's originally caught, he pretends not to talk because the humans on that planet can't talk.
That's all right by me. Because some of the other like callbacks to that, like a couple of the famous lines, they do a fine enough job with it, but I'm still just... I guess I'm over remakes to the point where there's so many of them now. Do we even have to do this?
Yeah.
You know, like you don't have to have "Get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape." It would have been fine if it didn't have.
I
that.
thought that was fine, but I didn't need it. But it was done in because he's such an over the top arch villain that I was totally.
That character is whatever. We'll get there.
They're bringing the monkeys back to the chimps back to the Genesis, where Will works, played by James Franco.
James Franco. But see, here's the interesting thing. So at the very beginning, you don't like the humans because they're poaching the apes.
Yeah.
And then you immediately don't like the apes because I want that ape's life. I want to be injected with things and have to do a puzzle that I know how to do and be cared for and whatever. I'm like, you're taking jobs away from hardworking, lazy Americans that just want to move things on pegs and get treats for it.
I mean, one, pretty sure that's Sarah Jessica Parker's job. Two, I'm really hoping that was the lady from Square Pegs.
Yes, no, that took me a while to
out of the park, as you were saying about things.
Yeah, we're playing football, but yeah, it's out of the park.
If you would like, I'll just give you some grapes. You don't even have to do a puzzle.
No, but I want that sense of achievement. You know, I want to earn something. I'm not interested in your socialist welfare state.
You're going so far as to say, give me that pill.
Give me that pill. I want your grapes.
Okay.
Give me them grapes.
So you're right. It is a cush gig. I've said it before. I'll say it again. If someone wants to pay me to experiment with me, I'm fine.
I'm down. Like, I know how to do that puzzle. I can probably do it in 15 moves over time. But what I was kind of hoping is that it was going to be a very short movie. And there's the monkey sorts the things. And they're like, perfect. We got it. Have you raised the monkey's intelligence? Just enough. And then it's just monkeys working at assembly lines, like building things.
Yeah, or
like sorting parts.
No, I got you. Or having like a conductor's hat on. Running the
now this is the thing
signal.
that drove me nuts with this movie. Is there are some things that are cliche because they work, and monkeys dressed like people work.
Yeah,
and there was no. I mean, they put Caesar in pants, I guess, but put him in a little mechanic's outfit. A little cowboy. They could have been a cowboy ape. Like that would be so much more. And maybe they do that in later movies. I don't know.
I think Dawn of the Planet of the Apes has a whole fashion sequence of monkeys
getting
dressed
hats.
up, and it's got they do like Right Said Fred, and it just monkeys turning jauntily to camera. They're back. They're doing testing on the apes. The Bright Eyes is doing really well, and they give him ALZ-112. That's the first. That's the Flowers for Algernon drug.
Right. He's trying to make a drug that will cure Alzheimer's.
Yes.
James Franco is.
Blah, blah, blah. Hey, we need to do this thing. This drug works. It's great. There's no side effects. He talks his boss into it. And don't you know it, the timing of this is just incredible. Like during the board of directors meeting, one of the monkeys, they're not monkeys, but let's just deal with the fact that we're just going to keep calling them that the whole film.
Apes, monkeys, and chimps are going to be interrelated.
I know the difference, but I still don't know the difference.
I'm an ape racist.
I except for bonobos. I want to fuck the shit out of one of those.
That's weird.
Says you.
So there's this one monkey Bright Eyes.
I say 98.6 similar to us. I say 1.4% erotic.
I say play ball. So this one ape that's been doing well, Bright Eyes, he's presenting to the board, and they're trying to get Bright Eyes out to do more testing, and Bright Eyes is freaking out, and they can't tell why. And you're again on the side of apes because they're being needlessly mean to it. Although, and this is something I think the movie does pretty well, where it's like the humans are being cruel to apes, and with the exception of Draco Malfoy and Brian Cox, like it's not done out of maliciousness. It's just sort of this institutionalized the way things are, the way they treat these things. Because the ape is kind of freaking out, and rather than trying to figure out what's wrong, they're like, oh, well, we'll just harness it. And it starts freaking out, and rampaging. The ape ends up breaking out, rampaging over everything. And
I think what we need to set up first, Will is in the meeting.
Yes.
And so he's the lead guy in there.
Yeah.
Bright Eyes is by herself with one of the trainers that's not used to working with her. And she was feeling like probably a little bit lonely, and that like Will's never going to come around. And then it's like, turn around, Bright Eyes.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I need you down tonight.
Yeah, every now and then. She needs
Will more than ever. Uh-huh. Because be holding on forever.
Yes. But yeah, so the monkey freaks out, starts escaping, raining havoc on everyone. And it's almost too perfect where...
Wait, Cyclops' brother?
Yes. As he is like making his final point about like, this drug works, the ape comes jumping through the glass and gets put down by security guards. The security guards just pop, pop, pop.
The security in this place lacks, to say the least.
But heavily armed.
But they're terrible. Like every person in this movie is terrible at their job. I can't think of a single one that isn't incompetent, other than maybe Brian Cox, because he was running a tight fucking ship.
I think Brian Cox is good at his job, but what his job is terrible.
It's evil. Yeah. I know. But he is good at being evil. It's like, the banality of evil kind of thing, like the efficiency of Nazis. Like, he's run that place like, trains were running, those monkey trains were running on time.
Oh, see, conductor outfit. So, and I did kind of like this, the aspect of, because that all went down, that the owner of the company, I don't care what your results are, this is never going to happen.
Yeah.
Like, we just murdered a chimp in front of all of the shareholders. This is done. Forget it.
Yeah, he's smart about that. And then we find out that they all like, we're led to believe that this is because of the drug, but turns out that the ape was pregnant.
Yes.
And that's what she was just trying to defend the kid.
It's that she already had the baby. And even though they were apparently doing regular blood tests and stuff like that, they didn't know, and who cares? They were just testing for the brain.
That's
okay, fine. And the way the movie does it is like, it's fine. Just move along. She has the baby, and they find out. So the head of the organization of Genesis is like, we're done. Kill every monkey for some, because all those monkeys are infected, and they're going to freak out. So we need to murder every one of them.
I mean, that does kind of make sense.
Yeah,
I'm not agreeing with it, but
on a cold clinical thing, and then the ape handler guy,
Franklin,
is
from Franklin Bash.
Yes.
By the way, safe. Franklin in this movie, I'm sure it's not the same actor because I think the age is wrong, but boy, does he remind me of Foggy from Daredevil.
Yeah, how dare you? Because Foggy from Daredevil is the worst, and this guy's fine. Foggy, if you're listening, I'm sorry, you're terrible.
Foggy really steps up his game in season 3.
So Franklin, the monkey handler, is like, we found this baby. You're like, James Franco is with him. And he's like, I've killed so many monkeys up to this point. Like, you deal with this monkey. Either you're going to take care of him. I can't take care of him. My brother works in security apparently for the building. He's like, he'll know that I have this and give a shit. So here, James Franco, you take care of it. James Franco's like, I can't take care of it. And he's fine. Then you kill it. I've killed all the rest of them. You deal with it. And puts down a syringe. And James Franco's like, well, I couldn't possibly do that. What would it take? Because I wouldn't want to do that either. But what would it take for you to kill the monkey? Like, if you had a bazooka, would you? If he's like, gave you a bazooka, he's like, blow away this monkey with a bazooka, would you be more likely to do it?
I mean, no. The choice of weapon would not affect my decision. Now, whether I was getting paid for it might.
See, because that's the thing. I think you're getting paid either way.
No, I mean, actually,
you get a monkey killing bonus.
What? No, I'm saying in like a theoretical world, like, hey, Alex, how much would it take for you to kill a monkey?
It's not. No, I'm asking in this particular situation because random monkey killing isn't going to be a thing.
Yeah,
that's a harder thing.
Yeah, the choice of weapon has nothing to do with it.
I don't know.
So you're saying you would rather kill a monkey with a bazooka than a syringe?
Yeah, it's one of those things. If you've ever seen the Brad Pitt movie, Killing Them Softly, which is a good movie for having an unfortunate name. There's a whole thing where he's talking about killing people you know versus killing people you don't know, and like when people you know, you kind of got to kill them softly. You got to like from a distance is the kind of the way you want to do it. Because otherwise, if it's someone that you know, it's too hard and too close. But the more distance you get from killing an ape, I think I could probably do it.
All right, so given your scenario, you are 20 feet away and you have a spear.
Yeah.
Versus 100 yards away, you have a bow and arrow.
Ooh, that's a good one. Because those are both like fairly, I got to put forth effort to do it.
Yeah, and they're going to die hard.
They're going to, like Bruce Willis. Do I only get one shot of each? Or is it just like, you're just going to keep doing it until they're done?
Yeah, this is Eminem style. You have one shot.
There's two different schools of thought for this. The first is the spear. I'm just going to embarrass myself by not having the upper arm strength.
I imagine you throwing like Lamar from
yeah, it's going to somehow go backwards. Yeah. But the bow and arrow, I can at least go like, oh, the wind took it. Sorry. Everybody.
Okay, how about this? Sniper rifle from 300 yards.
You're speaking my language.
Or Choke it to death with your balls.
With my balls?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Teabag
go
it to death.
I'm gonna go sniper rifle.
Coward.
Because particularly that choice, I'm gonna go, yeah, you're welcome, monkey.
Coward.
Yeah.
So he goes home, brings the ape home, falls in
Yeah.
love with it because he grabs his finger
Yeah, so-
because it's adorable.
So, like you were saying, this is a movie full of people bad at their jobs, and James Franco is so bad at his job because the Franklin tells him, hold us for a couple days, I'll find a sanctuary. This guy, Franklin's job is taking care of monkeys. He likes them. He's not mean. He's a nice enough guy, and he wants to find a good sanctuary for this baby to go to. And James Franco just goes, nah, I got this. Because he wants to keep doing his testing. Because they realize that Caesar is kind of smart. And rather than give him a home where he can be socialized with other apes or something like that, he goes, no, I'm just going to keep him in my home and run tests.
Well, I think, what I think, it is what they're doing, but I don't think they hit it hard enough is how connected to his dad he is. Which, I mean, they do, and I mean, how much time do you need to spend on it? But I think if they showed him struggling with the decision more, I think he'd be a more humanized character. Will, I mean.
Right.
Because, I mean, he's doing it because he wants to save his dad, and this is the only way to do it.
Right. Well, yes, with the drug, yeah, because there's a whole thing where you see these clips of John Lithgow struggling with Alzheimer's.
Yeah,
which
he
is kind
can't
of like,
play piano anymore because he has what the medical science called dumb brain.
right, and it's kind of all he does in this movie. It's killed me because James Franco takes him into his home, and then Caesar kind of grows up under his care. There's all these other movies buried in there. That, like, if this was the 80s and everyone was doing coke, this would be great because you have Monkey Baby Matchmaker. He's trying to find love for his owner. You have, when James Franco leaves to go to work, who is in charge of this monkey? His Alzheimer's dad. That is a show.
Yeah.
I would love to watch that show.
Well, here's what I think about that is they didn't think it out very well.
Yeah. No, they did.
Well, they do make a point of saying that he rarely shows up to the office anymore.
Yes, sure, but that was 5 years later.
Yeah, it was because he's been raising Caesar.
Yeah, but you're not gonna have 5 years of an employee not showing up.
So anyway, yeah, he's the ape is smart. Will steals the ALZ 112 and administers it to his father, which is a absurdly bad idea, and it works out. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's a virus that that the virus basically, it's a virus with a chemical coupled to it. So the virus attacks the Alzheimer's parts, delivering the chemical, thereby curing the brain. Invent a bit of medicine, but you're administering a virus to your dad who's out in the public. I mean, this is 101 shit of how to, like, this could be the start of a zombie movie. I mean, this is just such fucking bad idea.
Kind of is, but the thing that drives me nuts.
Oh, there's
about it,
another
too.
movie we missed out on, Zombie Monkeys.
Yeah, well, there's the other part of this too, where it's like, I've invented this drug for the world that makes apes smarter. Like, not just humans, but like, I made this drug that genetically passes on and makes apes smarter. And he just, nope, don't worry about it. He talks later when he comes back to the guy later and talks about how the drug improves cognitive function in his dad. At no point does he mention that the effects of the drug were passed on genetically.
Yeah, that's
a huge thing.
Though, I mean, it's not like Caesar was gonna get any ass, so I mean, it's not like he really had to worry about it.
Yes, that was the primary concern.
No, I'm saying it flippantly. No, but I mean, he's not allowed to tell about the ape being. I think his main concern was trying to figure out how to get it back into human trial. So I think the idea of it being passed on wasn't a. I mean, it's a plot hole.
But which I'm not concerned about because the movie isn't hinging on it or whatever, and the movie does a decent enough job of making you not care about it. But it was a thing. I'm like, this is not nothing what you've just done. It made me think of Flipper Babies, or the thalidomide. Yeah. So he starts injecting his dad with it.
Oh, Flipper Babies.
Are you talking about Rise of the Dolphins? Rise of the Planet of the Dolphins?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like another Simpsons episode.
Right. Yeah. But so the drug works for John Lithgow, and he's better. He's good now. He's playing the piano.
Was that Lithgow playing the piano?
It was. I mean, it seemed like it was because it was one shot, and I know he can.
Can he? Because I was trying to figure, because they do the weird shot where it's from behind, then they show his hands, which is what you do when someone can't play piano. So you
but they pan up.
No, then they pan up. It was weird because they did they did the one shot which you do when an actor can't play the instrument.
Right.
But then they also did the shot you do when the actor can play the instrument. So it's like this threw me off, which I know that's a small thing, but I actually think like directorially that's a weird way of framing the shot.
It's a thing I look at in the same way that all the time. And this is a totally acceptable practice, and I myself do it when I'm editing things. When you are doing sort of an over-the-shoulder shot of someone, and like let's say someone's filming us talking right now, and I'm talking, but they're filming your reaction to it. My mouth doesn't have to match what I'm saying right now in that shot because everyone's looking at you. Anytime in movies, I look at that other person talking. But yes, so John Lithgow can play the piano, and it's working out great for him.
Because of course he can, because he couldn't before.
Because he could not before.
Dr. Will.
And you see things are going good, like they're raising Caesar, and Caesar is getting really smart. You get when you're introduced to Caesar living at home, you get this very sweet little montage of him like running through the house and parkouring over shit and hanging on stuff to get up.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Room.
Yeah,
it was great.
That little cookie sequence was good.
Yeah, it was very cute. And then you realize like that James Franco just has him living in an attic.
It's a nice attic though.
It's a nice attic, but that's when I started going like, why didn't you take him to a preserve where you can go visit him, and then he's able to be outside and do things, and then you can like go and visit him and work out with them. Again, I'm overthinking.
I know, but I think this is kind of tacitly answered in that because he's super smart, you can't have him around. He couldn't study them in the way that he would have to around other. It's not like you could play chess with a monkey in front of ALZ 112 monkeys.
Right. No, I understand that,
So,
but,
like,
but it seemed unnecessarily cruel to like keep him in an attic.
Yeah, but I guess what's the other choice? That he can still study them and keep them, because he can't be around other apes.
Yeah, move to a cabin.
Oh yeah, I mean, fair enough. Yeah. Asked and answered. Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah.
Go out to the wilderness.
Yeah,
but
no, I know.
Again, it's fine, and it's in terms of the growth of that of Caesar and the way that all plays out. I thought that was actually kind of cool.
All right, so Caesar escapes the house because he sees the kid next door riding bikes, and he wants to go outside and ride bikes. Which, by the way, we missed a chimp riding a bike. That should have happened. Yeah. Adorbs.
Again, dressed in a little put on the Holy Tour de France outfit. Adorable.
Even red shirt, pants. I'm down with him riding a bike. That would have been hilarious.
I'd just go shirt, man.
Shirt.
Winnie Pooh that shit.
I know. To be fair, I was actually, and this is gonna. I mean this complete earnestly. I'm glad they made the decision to put pants on him. It's so awkward when they do front shots where they have to selectively shadow so you don't see his junk.
It does a good job of also humanizing him. Of making him this separate thing, where it's like, well, he's still a monkey, but look, he's wearing pants.
Yeah, totally. But it was every time he stood up, it's just like it's not like I'm like, oh, I want to see that dick, but it's like, it's you notice that it's like this kind of like this Ken doll thing, and it's just it's one of those I'm glad they the few scenes they have it they kept him as our main character that way. No, it's true.
I'm just laughing at the idea of, I don't know if you've ever seen that GIF of the rapper Birdman. It's from some music video of him walking up to a window, rubbing his hands, oh boy. And I'm just imagining you waiting for monkey dick with that. Oh yeah.
No, it's the opposite. It's what's the first thing you think of when you think of Dr. Manhattan from The Watchmen?
Being a superpower and experiencing all time at once.
No. You think about the blue wagon.
In his dick.
Yeah, no. So he escapes and he gets his knee scraped because David Hewlett from next door attacks him, and there's a whole sequence. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah, well, yeah, so because there's a particular window he looks out of that has a particular design. It's a round window with a little sort of diamond design in it. When he sees the kids riding the bike, and yeah, you don't even see the altercation that goes down. You just see the neighbor attacking him with a baseball bat, and they go to rescue him. And John Goodman's like, he just wants to play. That's my John Goodman impression, by the way. John Lithgow.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a great John Goodman impression. It's weird. Yeah. John Goodman walks out and he's like, Roseanne. It's
why
am
I so skinny now? It's creepy. Yeah.
But so he scrapes his knee, and they're like, "Hey, we got to do something about it." So he takes Caesar. Will takes Caesar.
Yeah.
To the local zoo to visit a veterinarian,
which was a bizarre choice in a couple of reasons. Because the first is, and for the purpose of the story, I get it. He wheels he's got Caesar in a stroller covered with a blanket, and he wheels him by the ape enclosure where all the apes are in jail, and then Caesar looks in and is like, "Oh my God, what is that?" There's no other way to get to where you're going.
That was awkward.
But also, the person doing the surgery, fixing up the ape, yeah, it's fine. Just, it's not weird that this person brought in a chimp for me to fix.
Well, all right. So we need to talk about her a lot. So this is, Will goes in with Caesar, Caesar plays Wing Chimp and basically hooks these two crazy kids up, saying like, "Hey, what's he signing? Oh, that's great." He's like, "Oh, he's signing that we should go out and have dinner, yada yada."
Well,
Wait. I don't know this character's name, and I paid attention the entire movie.
Caroline, apparently.
Yeah,
No.
this is this is the most cardboard woman. Like, I know we've talked about it on the show before, like the argument for like fridging the girlfriend being that, but this is a popsicle. Like, this is like she does. Holy shit!
There's no reason for her to be there.
I'm not like every movie needs a strong woman. Like, some movies just, it doesn't. I don't care. And you don't need a strong man in every movie. But like, oh my God, don't have that character because that is insulting as shit. Oh, you mean a professional woman, a doctor? Like, she went to school for fucking ever to get that job, and she is actionless. She's essentially nameless. If they said it, I didn't hear it. I read it on the IMDb. I was furious at this.
No, it is because
irritating.
She is an attractive person, and that seemed like why she was in this movie.
Yep.
And I don't blame her for that.
I'm yelling at the character and the writing. The actress did a fine job.
Oh, yeah, no.
It's just the actress didn't get a character that got her fucking name said.
No, and I was reading this review recently, and this is an entirely different movie, but a review of Heat, where they were complaining about watching it now is like all the female characters in that movie are bad. And I haven't seen it. I'm going to cut this whole part out. But like, it's weird to me because like that can happen.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, like that kind of shit baffles me. Where it's like every person of this particular thing must be good and great. No, some people just suck all over.
That's
like whatever. Like particularly in Heat, where it's like, yeah, these are awful people. They might attract like weak, shitty women in their lives because they're bullish. Whatever. All the reasons behind that. She is pointless in this movie.
Yeah. Why bother?
Yeah.
She could have carried so much. Like, she could have had exposition. Like, maybe it got weird. Maybe the editing just fell the weird way that like her good scenes, didn't work out.
Yeah. And as much as I want to praise this movie for being good, for being a decent movie and under 2 hours, you could have maybe there was a whole plot that got knocked out of like.
That's what I feel like. Yeah.
Of her sort of replacing Caesar as a focus in this guy's life. So that starts to alienate, Caesar a little bit. For a second, I was watching this. I was kind of going like, is John Lithgow just in this to be essentially a fridged girlfriend? Because he doesn't really do anything other than be sick, get better, be sick again.
Yeah.
There's not really a whole lot of character building in that. But again, like for such a plot-heavy movie, and because it's more focused on the apes rather than the humans, I'll allow it.
This is where they do the Muir Woods time lapse. This is where we cut 5 years forward.
Yeah, which was pretty great because, they're like, take him out occasionally. And they just cut out a lot of bullshit, and finally he's all full grown.
Yeah, he finally gets to the top of the one redwood, and then he can finally go back to Gotham City and defeat Bane, which I was really happy with. This is a weird movie where, like, the act structure or whatever is odd in this, where it's kind of front-heavy, even though the front is, like, really kind of, like, fast-forwarded.
Yeah.
And then like the second act is the only one I think paced remotely like a movie, because then the third act just goes into an action sequence.
I feel like a lot of horror movies are kind of not like that, particularly the slower paced ones where it's and this arguably is somewhat of a horror movie, the way it sort of plays out like a zombie movie at the end. But where you have like such a slow front end and then it all just cascades at the end.
Yeah. All right, so we it's 5 years in the future. Will is still with nameless doctor girlfriend.
Yes.
What, Dr. Girlfriend, perfect.
Doctor, yes.
It's almost like that's from something
Absolutely.
else. And John Go-Go Lithgow is slipping again, and I think this is it's slipping into Alzheimer's again, and I think this is a beautiful scene. Beautiful is the wrong word, but just well done scene where Lithgow is trying to cut his eggs with the wrong end of a knife, and Caesar just reaches over and fixes it.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was like, it's not hard, but if like imagine yourself in a writer's room.
Yeah.
Fucking come up with that.
No, that was great.
Good. That's a really good moment.
Because Caesar's already getting frustrated at the way he has to live.
Yeah.
And they've done a very subtle way of dealing with that, which I actually really enjoyed. But that moment of him of then Caesar teaching, very subtle way. It wasn't really like heavy-handed with it. But then starting to read that maybe John Lithgow's not doing so great.
I think it's where he fucks up his car.
It's right before that. Yeah, because James Franco figures out that it's not going well. That this
Well, he basically figures out that Lithgow's immune system is
starting to attack the
is
virus.
attacking the virus,
Yeah.
so it's no longer working. The idea is that he needs a stronger virus. That's kind of going to be the next really bad idea.
And while he's talking about it, you get this moment of Lithgow leaving the house, and he's all confused, and he gets into this car, and you hear the neighbor is like, says something about waxing his car and leaves the door open to his car and the keys in it. And Lithgow gets in the car and starts driving it and immediately gets in an accident, like runs into the car that's parked in front of it. And the guy comes out, is like, I'm a pilot. I need to get to work.
Yeah.
What?
Well, let me tell you what that was. Two things. A really good idea to make him a pilot, and the most fucking ham-handed, nonsensical way to do it. We're leading in, because they know they're going to do a sequel to this, we're leading into it being a pandemic. Him being a pilot and getting bit by Caesar is the thing that essentially destroys the world.
Okay, because here's where I was confused by that. Because at the end, well, we can get to the end.
Yeah. I don't know. I like those little kind of...
Right, but just like it's a weird phrase to be like, I'm a pilot, I have to get to work. Like,
Well, no,
yes,
but-
anyone needs to go to work.
No, but they've set that guy up being such a self-important ass over it, but I thought... But,
It's fine.
So this is where so Caesar beats the shit out of David Hewlett and bites his finger.
Right, because David Hewlett starts like really going it, like pulls Lithgow out of the car. Lithgow's all confused. He's just screaming at him and is poking him in the chest.
Yeah.
Which is a thing I hate. And then, he freaks out, so he runs outside and to protect John Lithgow, much like his mom, Bright Eyes, just being protecting, starts attacking that guy. He ends up biting his finger and then gets sent to primate jail.
Yeah. Now,
Which, another movie idea come out of this. John Lithgow's character, some crazy mix-up, he gets sent to primate jail. What a great movie!
it could be a primate sanitarium, and you can call it Going Bananas.
Yes, perfect, great TV show. Here's the thing. It's a small thing, but I found this somewhat interesting.
What, Draco Malfoy being this?
No, before going back to when
Slytherin.
going back to
Lucius Malfoy's
nope,
mom.
not interesting at all.
Yeah,
Going
Lucius
back to
Malfoy's
when they were
mother.
at the Redwood Forest.
Yeah.
And they get there, and then
Muir Woods.
he's asking for permission. He holds out his
Yeah, the supplicating gesture.
The supplicating gesture. Is that taught, or do apes just know that?
I can answer this sort of.
Okay.
In the trivia, it is referenced that that's like an actual thing that apes do. However, he is 6 fucking years old. That's basically middle age or whatever. He would have done this to him a bunch of times before.
But it's also, do you have to be socialized to do that?
I
Yeah.
don't know.
It doesn't matter. But
No, I mean, it doesn't matter, but it is a good
it's
question.
nature versus nurture. But he's also a smart ape, so maybe he write a Wikipedia article about ape culture.
This is at the point of the movie where he literally says, does his girlfriend even have a name? We meet Draco Malfoy.
no,
well,
we
anyway,
don't. Nope.
Caesar gets dragged into this, what looks like from the outside perfectly serviceable monkey habitat. It's got a tree in the middle. Like, it looks like it's animal shelter, at least,
Yeah.
They're making the efforts. He doesn't see the fucking awful cages behind.
Well, what I was very excited by this moment because Brian Cox shows up. And Brian Cox is always great. But as soon as you saw Brian Cox wearing smoky glasses, I'm like, oh shit.
yeah.
That's never good.
His makeup is amazing because I love his work at CERN.
Different guy.
Oh, sorry.
Worst guy, frankly.
Really?
I don't know.
Oh,
There's just Brian Cox, the actor, is fantastic.
Yeah, there's a physicist called Brian
no, I know.
Cox. Oh,
and
okay.
I just prefer Brian Cox, the actor.
So basically they get dropped off, blah, blah, blah. Draco Malfoy's name is Dodge Landon.
Which is not a person's name.
No, but exactly. Because Dodge and Landon are the two non-Charlton Heston characters that land on. This is why I pointed it out. Because a lot of the things I recognized in this movie, I went, I think that's a Planet of the Apes one. When it's a Dodge, I'm like, because they say his name. No, I think they said his whatever. The point is, I picked up on it. I don't even think they say his name in the movie. I think I saw it in the character listing. Went, wait, that's not a thing. I think that's the
If he was wearing a cowboy hat and his name was Dodge Landon, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
I would be unquestioning about that. But here's another thing with that moment. So when they're taking Caesar in, because by this point Caesar has had this whole kind of breakdown about what am I? What's going on here? Am I a pet? He's like, no, you're not a pet.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He has this weird existential.
He's
kind of thing.
because you have me on a leash because they encounter a dog leaving the redwoods. He's like, am I a pet? He's like, no, you're not a pet. He's like, well, then what's going on here? Why am I on a leash? And James Franco drives him to Genesis and gives him his whole backstory. The whole attack thing happens, and then they take him to monkey jail.
Yeah.
And they're about to like use the like harness on a stick on him, and he's like, he's not a pet. And it just made me think of those people that like, I'm recently woke. Where it's like, yes, I had a leash on him last week, but now I'm above that. So Brian Cox shows them like, oh, here's this fun play area, and it's cool, and your chimp will be happy here. And James Franco's like, well, okay, I have to put him here from the state, but it seems like a decent enough place. He leaves, and then immediately the Caesar is tricked into Dodge Landon, which I thought that was a stupid name to begin with, but knowing that they just shoehorned a reference in makes it even see like from across the playpen is like, hey, come here, I got food for you, and tricks him to going into this thing, and boom, he's in a cage with all the other chimps. Miles of chimps apparently, because there's this big camera pullback of
chimps are popping.
All these chimps, and they are popping.
We also meet, and this is I know the world doesn't run on puns like our brain does, but we meet Maurice.
Whoop woo.
The big mandrill or whatever, the one with the puffy, the other smart ape, the one that can sign to.
He's an orangutan.
Is that an orangutan?
Yeah.
His face looked weird. I didn't think that's.
Right.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that's what their faces looked like. But he said he's a smart ape. He's a circus ape. How does Andy Serkis not play him? Again, I know the world doesn't run on puns, but I mean, come on. So anyway, so Draco tells them they're running around, and people, they're just busy singing.
And Draco's no, hold on. Nope, I'm cutting that.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Dodge Landon. He's comically mean. Like
it is so fucking bad.
He's throwing like monkey chow at them. It's like it's food. You love it. And he's the owner's son. This isn't his first day on the job.
Here's the thing, and I, as much as I bring up the Harry Potter thing to annoy you, but like I don't like the Harry Potter movies. We said it on the show, yeah. But so there's a scene.
They're too good.
Or like early in the movies, but whatever. Early Tom Felton when he's fucking, I don't know, 10. They go, what's the matter, Potter? And he's just this overacting like shit heel, but it's like, hey, he's 10. He's like, what, 18 in this movie? Yep. And he's got the exact same snidely fucking whiplash delivery.
But that's the role.
But dude, bring some kind of fucking subtlety.
You just instead of giving him a blazer with a house patch on it, you just gave him a Kid Rock t-shirt. Like, it's the same character. He's just like, I'm better than you, you damn monkey.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
I think you mean a robe with the sigil of House Slytherin on it.
Yeah, whatever.
So this is where he riles up the apes, and he gives his what I described before as the best American accent. It's a madhouse! Yeah. A madhouse!
Oh my God.
Now, upon reflection, I don't hate either him doing it's a madhouse, or when he goes, get your damn dirty paws off me, you damn dirty ape, or whatever the fuck the line is. I'm fine with either of those.
Yes.
Because he's such an over-the-top villain, such an over-the-top character, but not both of them. That makes it, because he's literally, hi, I'm fan service. Let me fan service.
Well, here's my thing is the get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape. With that over-the-top character they built makes way more sense than him yelling like it's a madhouse at them for whatever. Like, that didn't need to be there.
Will kind of gives in and goes back to Genesis, cisgen.
Well, he's already
no.
Genesis.
That's Portland.
He's trying. I got you. Right. I was trying to move past it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Weird. He's already like trying to fight the system and be like, I don't need to wait 90 days for an appeal. Give me the appeal right now. And they're like, shut up. And then he just kind of forgets about it and goes back to work at Genesis because he's like, no, I have this drug's worked. He goes to his boss and he's like,
well, he finally admits
it's like, I've been giving it to my dad. I'm not going to tell you that I stole a monkey and that it's passed on genetically. And this is a thing that raises the awareness of apes. Bleh. Don't worry about that. The head of the Genesis is like, that sounds great. That could make some money out of this. Start again. Let's do it.
Yeah, he's very excited. Although earlier he literally said, this will never get passed with that name. And then he's like, well, get that 112 back in the line. Why not?
Then it becomes 113.
It's just a small, it's just a small thing, but just change the fucking name. If you have a scene earlier, I've said this a bunch on the show. If you bother to have a scene in the film that puts a fucking pin in something, I really hate hamsters. Hamsters are the worst animals ever. 35 minutes later in the film, I got a hamster cage. That's great. Just at least go, hey, look, I have a North American fluff weasel. Fine, they're hamsters, but still do a thing that at least it pays off the earlier thing where it says 112 is bullshit. We're never going to look at it again. Instead of calling it 113, call it Smez dip, like
Right.
whatever. Just fucking
or just SMRT01.
Perfect. Yeah,
well,
yeah,
it's the
but
same thing.
why
You can
set it
go.
up?
You can go the other way, where this was a thing that kind of drove me nuts in the movie, where it's we're going to the redwood forest. The camera goes on them entering the redwood forest, pans up with swelling music as it goes up to like, look at how big these trees are. Remember these trees, everybody. This is going to be a thing later.
Oh, yeah,
Remember these trees.
So Will tells his boss about 112 how he needs to be has to up the viral level, blah, blah, blah. And that's where they steal some more apes and they get Scary McChimp. I don't know if he has a
so
character
they're
name.
actually getting more, and I think he has a name, but again, like much like the girlfriend, doesn't matter. Maybe in the later movies it does, but you just know it's a Scarface.
Yeah,
ape.
the scarred chimp. Yeah.
But yeah, they're getting those apes from the very ape jail that Caesar is in.
Yes.
Caesar's already, by the way, having a rough time in ape jail because he's trying to be intelligent and a smart guy. And
oh yeah, there's one ape that's been bullying.
that's been bullying him, and it plays out a little bit like a guy just getting hard in prison, not in the way that you're immediately thinking of, but that he's
Dewey Cox.
yes, he's we're not all thinking about Dewey Cox.
Oh. I just made you say it. Dude, I just made you say it.
Man.
Dewey Cox, get it?
Anyway.
Brian
but just
Cox.
that him, like-
Brian Cox, fuck the monkey.
Him getting broken down and then like, he can no longer operate on the outside. Because he's having a bad time. He's trying to, humankind has abandoned him.
Yes. Yes, he does the dramatic wiping away of the window that is etched into his wall.
He's drawn like just to keep his like, remember the window, man. I can pretend that I'm looking at it, and then after all that, he's like, nah, fuck that. That window's gone. Yeah, so while Caesar's in there getting all woke in prison, they're taking other apes out, and it turns out they're going to Genesis. You hear this like voiceover. It's like, Genesis needs 3 more, so pick them up, whatever.
Oh, here's a like really quick aside. There was a cut scene here where they do a couple like lingering shots of the one cage where there's like a toy horse, like a riding horse, and like kind of young people toys in the cage. Which that would no. This sounds like I'm setting up that this literally is a cutscene.
Yeah.
No, this isn't me being
I'm
stupid.
looking at you like
This
is not to be a joke.
It's that was supposed to be there. There are cutting room floor that was Caesar's girlfriend. That there was a love arc in the thing, and part of the reason that he stayed behind was, and part of the reason they attacked Genesis or the
Genesis. Yeah.
It sounds so dumb. I feel like it should be something else. That his girl got taken. So the first ape taken from the sanctuary where they show that shot inside the cell, that was like a meaningful shot in an alternate cut of the movie that they inexplicably left in.
Yeah, that's weird because I'm glad they got rid of that storyline because it's kind of like, and I believe I've referenced this before, Armageddon, where it's like the world's going to end. The world, that's where my girlfriend lives.
Yeah.
Like, there's so much here already. I don't need a love interest because that weakens the overall messaging of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Beyond Dodge Landon, there's a nicer guy that works there.
Oh, I had one of those in high school. Dodge Landon.
Dodge Landon, yeah. Rodney, I believe is the character's name. That's like, he's the good cop. He's like, we don't need to treat the monkeys like shit. After their shift, Dodge Landon shows off how cool he is to some random people by taking them to the monkey house. They're like, yeah, this is where I work. It's pretty sweet. I get to yell at monkeys all day. And it's with a couple of party girls and this guy. And this one guy is looking at Caesar's cage. And Caesar's like, hey, come here, buddy. And fakes him out and is able to steal his pocket knife from him.
Yes.
Hides it, like a real con.
Exactly. And then Dodge Landon is like, training for the ballet, Potter.
Yes, that's exactly what he says.
Okay, continue.
And then never mind. Which again, secret hidden movie, Knife Chimp. I would love to watch a movie called Knife Chimp. It's a chimp with a knife.
Oh boy, that would be good.
Yeah. And it's not even like there's not a plot. It's just give a chimp a knife. And
no, it's like Kung Fu with David Carradine, but instead of like him traveling the world fighting with Kung Fu, it's just a monkey with a knife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
a chimp with a knife.
He goes to a small town, and they're like, oh man, there's a man here that's so mean to all of us, but his one weakness is a chimp with a knife. Hey, random chimp, you can solve our problems. But then he ends up using it to free all these other apes. And then I never fully understood. I guess I don't think they did a good job of fleshing out. There's a big like gorilla that's being kept in the playpen area, whose
Yes.
name is like Buzz or something. I don't even remember. But like he frees him, and in this way that the monkey or that the ape is supposed to understand that, oh yeah, you freed me. I'm supplicant to you now. Like the movie tells you that information, but it still felt very kind of convenient to me. That it's just like all of a sudden the ape's like, oh, I was yelling at you before, but you're cool. I get this. I don't feel the need to. I'm still an animal, but I don't need to do this dominance.
It was
thing.
awkward. There was also the awkward thing with the bully ape, where basically Caesar tricks him and kicks the shit out of him by hitting him with a water can after letting the gorilla thing. Anyway, the point is he asserts his alpha status, and it's just the storytelling here is a little quick, but I mean. It's also one of those, like, how long do you want to spend?
Let's get this going.
Yeah. But it is.
I feel like it's a little ill proportioned for how they, like, where they spend their time, but it's still under 2 hours. But this part's a little rushed, and that's fine, whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I can kind of see where they're going with how long do you want to spend. I mean, there's no dialogue. There's no. I could see how that'd be awkward.
But then you have this, and I don't know if I'm jumping forward here. The moment where is this where he escapes to go home? Or is James Franco shown back up yet?
So the only thing we missed, he's about to. Will shows up, argues with his boss, saying like, no, this shit ain't ready. He kind of changes his mind, like, no, you can't fucking put it out there. This is crazy. He quits. Simultaneously, Franklin, he has gotten sick because he was accidentally exposed to 113.
Right. Well, we jumped over this where they're going to do a test on 113, which apparently is aerosol now.
Yes.
They don't really mention why that is or anything, but they're doing this test on this monkey, and they've chosen the worst looking monkey. And they even mentioned, like, no, he's been in captivity his whole life.
Yeah. It's awful.
He's got scars on the face, and I still don't understand why they made that choice, other than, like, he has his hand out and wants cookies and is smart enough to know that cookies go in the hand.
I think it just showed abnormally high intelligence. Like, not abnormally, but like it was smart. They wanted one that was smart to begin with to see if it. I think it was just kind of a. Hey, you find a pretty lady in Iowa working at a counter somewhere. You bring her to Hollywood, gussy her up, get her the right surgery. She's going to be like. Va fucking boom.
Sure, but like,
I think that's what they're doing here.
But if you're testing a drug, wouldn't you want like, no, I want like the guy that's dumb for a monkey.
No, that's the thing is, but it makes the drug look better. Because it's not like they're looking at how smart it was in the first place. What they're going to do is show their board of directors, look how smart this monkey is. It's not like they showed the video of how smart he was previous.
Okay, yeah. So it just makes sure it just hedges their bets.
Yeah, so it's like if normal monkeys have like, a 50 IQ, this one's got a 60.
Sure.
It gets boosted to an 80. The other one's gets boosted to a 70. It goes, look at this fucking smart motherfucker.
Yeah. He's no longer eating feces. He's eating soap.
Yes. Yeah. No, he's eating feces with a knife and fork.
But so they get this weird guy, and in the process of running the test on him, Franklin, the chimp handler's mask gets knocked out. And
No. Wait, I have to stop here. Bullshit. Because this is another case of that guy sucking. He didn't have his mask on in the fucking first place.
Okay.
He was doing a surgery, or in a surgical theater, putting an aerosolized fucking virus on the mouth of the scarred ape without a mask. Everybody else there has a mask on, and then the tube gets knocked out and he gets exposed. Yeah. You fucking asshole piece of shit. That's how zombie movies happen.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
You know what? I'm with you now. Franklin is foggy. Like, fuck that guy. And if it was a fog that got him, if you think about it. And I did.
Will shows up to the shelter. Caesar decides to stay. That's when they stage the revolution.
Well, there's a couple things we have to talk about before we get to that. So when Will shows up, Will is kind of like, fuck it, I'm done working the system. I'm back at my job. I'm making money. Goes back to Brian Cox and is like, throws down a...
Well, yeah, this is where Caesar decides to stay. Yeah.
Well, yeah, throws down the hundreds, this envelope full of money.
Yeah.
And Brian Cox's like, you're not trying to entrap me, are you? Because if you're a scientist, you have to tell me. You're like, no, just take the money. And they go to let Caesar out. Why does he have the leash? Caesar notices he has the leash and is like, nope, I'm staying inside. Why did he fucking bring the leash? After knowing that Caesar was like, I don't want to be on a leash. Why did he bring the leash?
I don't think he knows Caesar doesn't want to be on a leash. Caesar just questioned if he's a pet after being on a leash.
But it was a whole thing when they're going to the animal hospital. They hold his hand. They don't put him on a leash, go on the animal, and when the guy's like trying to get him with the harness thing, they're like,
No, I think.
no.
Oh, see, I took a different reading. No, I thought. I think what he was doing there was comforting him by holding his hand. No, I don't think that was a leash based thing because he questions himself looking at the dog on the leash, and he goes, "Am I a pet?" He said, "No, you're my son. You're my son, or I'm your dad." Blah blah blah. I don't think it's a leash equals.
See, I took it the other way. I took it as like, oh, you're not a pet. I'm not going to put you on a leash. And he's like, oh, I have the leash.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of got where he's going from there. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's arguable, but I was just like, why would you? Whatever. But I also think James, his character's an idiot. Much in the same way that we've discussed before about it's not a plot hole. It's a character making a bad
he is
choice.
an idiot. Also, I can't stress that he really looks like the guy from Gremlins.
Then at some point, I think it's after that fact that he starts using the knife to break everyone out of cages. This is a great moment, and this is actually the thing I like about this movie, where it shows really the effectiveness of grassroots organizing in order to make political change.
Yeah.
Is that he at the ground level he runs away, like he gets monkeys to let each other out of cages by bribing them with cookies.
Well, he makes the bully ape to do it. He kind of makes the bully ape the kind of lieutenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uses his smarts to do that. Yeah. And at some point he escapes and knows how to get back home. Which, whatever. Fine.
Well, no, he knows. Well, because he knows because he's been in the car a bunch of times. So he knows where his house is, and he was shown where Genesis is.
Right.
So that makes sense. I mean, he's super smart. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it's fair enough. But he goes and gets all the Alzheimer's drugs. John Lithgow, I think by this point is dead.
Okay. What you're saying is right, but let's just quick correction. Will has stolen the 113.
Yes.
Brought it home. Lithgow shakes his head slightly, so Will goes, "Oh, that must mean I should let him die because." Characters.
Yeah.
After that, he leaves the 113 in the fridge in the garage like an old fucking Budweiser from 1977 after you've gone sober. That's just sitting there. The world's most dangerous fucking drug. Then Caesar stares at them creepily. Will and his nameless girlfriend goes, hey, look, I'm staring at you for some reason. That's a scene that happens. Steals the 113, brings it back to the animal sanctuary.
Realizes it's like aerosol, and then just like punctures it and throws it out like it's a smoke bomb.
Yeah.
Douses all the other monkeys. And then kind of like as they're all coming out to the central playpen area, is like checking their eyes to make sure they're green.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how he knows that that's a signifier, but whatever.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Will's talked to him about it. I mean,
sure, fine.
We had so many years off camera.
We as the audience know that that's fine, whatever, it works. And I started thinking about this being a metaphor for sort of social uprising, whatever. And then I started thinking about the racial purity thing. Like, is it that kind of thing where it becomes this sort of racial purity thing where it's you don't have this same trait that I do, but then I'm like, nah, it's not that. It's just a shorthand for monkeys getting woke. Instead of handing out pamphlets about Marx or Black Panther literature or something like that, it's just a gas to make sure you're on the
Richard Marx?
Yes, Richard Marx.
And T'Challa, the king of Wakanda?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Those are the two political leaders that I'm talking about.
You said Marx and Black Panther.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably mean T'Chaka, because back then it was still his father.
Thank you. That's where I'm getting frustrated here. But just looking in their eyes and seeing like, hey, are you woke? Okay, you got the green, you're woke. Come on. And basically all the monkeys are woke, so, it's fine. And
the big monkeys like Crab and Goyle.
So mad I got that reference without you explaining it to me.
That's the joy that I take out of this.
But you know why I know that? The Lego Harry Potter video game.
Oh, that makes it better for you, John.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Take that, books. And so then he starts leading them in some, as Draco Malfoy starts noticing, God damn it, Dodge Landon starts noticing that...
I feel like I won 2 episodes of this one.
Fuck, I'm so mad. Starts noticing that, what is going on here, and starts threatening them with his shocky stick. That's what it's called, right?
I'm pretty sure it is, yes. The cattle prod is definitely called the shocky stick.
Yeah. And they end up, overpowering him, and that's where you get the get your paws off me, you damn dirty ape. And he yells, causes Caesar to yell no at him.
Which I fucking love this scene.
I thought that was great because it's not like all of a sudden he's like, you are mistaken, my good man. He's just like that's just this guttural sound.
Yeah, and it's not it's not a crisp no. I think his face was perfect, the noise was perfect. I really like the build up to it. I thought that was...
But it's also a great play on that line. If you're going to have that line in there, instead of just being fan service, changing it into something else is great, is a better way to go about it. I thought that did that very well. And then they end up killing him because while Caesar's freeing all these other people, Langdon or Dodge comes at him with a shocky thing, and they turn the hose on him. And
here's the question: there was that purposeful?
No,
murder?
I don't think it was.
I think it was actually.
I don't think it was. There's no way he would know that like electricity plus water.
But
is
also
bad.
like because Caesar does give like later when they're doing the uprising, Caesar gives like kind of orders of don't kill humans.
Yeah,
like this is
his reaction to knowing that like when they kind of figure out that like you human hurt bad, not wake up no more or whatever the ape signal is. You can like see on his face, he's like, oh boy.
Yeah.
If monkeys had collars, he would do the like, pulling the.
But they don't anymore. We discussed this earlier.
Yeah.
Those
well,
collars are
evolution.
leashes.
Yeah.
The only thing we skipped there, just in order, an important step is, before that scene, Franklin shows up to Will's house. He's super sick.
Yeah.
And he coughs on David Hewlett.
Because David Hewlett is just because he's the angry neighbor.
Yeah.
Which again. Monkey staying at home with John Lithgow, that sitcom already has Wacky Neighbor built in with that guy.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So he shows up to yell at Vicky, the robot neighbor, and gets coughed on. He goes, "Oh, fuck, get the hell out of here!" So that sets up the infestation of the world. But also Franklin is found dead in his home by his neighbor. But it's just important. This is important to set up because they don't really like. They don't put a button on it, but I mean, we now know that both this makes chimps smarter and it kills humans.
It's bad for humans.
Which is like bad for humans. One, kills humans. Oh no.
Yeah.
Because one thing like, oh, I have a bad chest cold. The other is, no, I'm dead in my shitty apartment and my idiot neighbor had to find me.
So.
Also, I'm pretty sure Franklin fucked a couple apes in his life. He just seems that type.
Okay, not everything is Westworld. So now at this point, like it just becomes a zombie movie, whereas the apes get out.
I swear, I did interrupting for a good reason.
No, do
because the other really good moment in here is the apes got out, but Will shows up to the ape shelter, or whatever. Yeah, the apiary. The nicer of the Nazi guards.
Yes,
talks to Will and goes, "Your ape." He spoke. That was like a cool line.
That was another example of, I brought out him being the nice guard earlier, is that though they kill that guy, though they kill Dodge, that one of the apes starts going ham on the other guy, and he's like, no, he's all right. We can teach him to come to our ways.
But also in that scene, well, just after that scene, but like this is the other like really ham-handed, whatever you call it, reference to the first film. But this one I really loved is. Over the course of the movie, they made a couple of references on the movie about how the first manned mission to Mars has been sent off.
Yeah, Project Icarus.
Now, this is where they do Lost in Space. Mm-hmm. But Project Icarus apparently was one of the misconceptions of what they thought the capsule from the first movie was called, because they never named it, the Charlton Heston capsule. So I do like the idea of this is never happening and it's dumb as shit. But frankly, this could have been a prequel to the Tim Burton Planet of the Apes.
Sure. Yeah.
Which I love that as a concept of I'm so nerdy with dumb time travel shit. I love that. Like that just really pleases me.
But just the fact that it was just like in the background and fine. It didn't irritate me in the way, even though it's sort of like fan service or whatever, it didn't irritate me in the way of like, let's just say Mute, where it's like, hey, remember Moon? Like, oh my God. Whereas, because A, it was the same source material, but B, it was just done in this way. It's like, this is also happening and whatever, just is just sort of flavor text.
AP spoke, this is the Lost in Space thing, General, the Avengers Initiative.
Yep.
So this is where the full escape from the animal shelter happens with Caesar leading the attack on Cisgen. Or Genesis.
Genesis, yeah, because they go there to get even
really
more.
I'm sorry.
It's it's Genesis.
So dumb.
Yeah, it's like Genesis. Yeah.
I know, but it's just it annoys me. Sorry.
Yeah, but they lead the attack on there, and they get even more smart apes out, including Scarface Ape, which I feel like that was set up to be like this is going to be a thing in the future because he doesn't really do that much. For as much time as they spent with him getting smart and the owner of Genesis, like seeing him write his name, like Jacobs, and like his creepy faces. I feel like because everything's got to be a goddamn franchise now,
I think actually he is like the, first lieutenant or something.
Yeah,
like that
that's
in
going
the
to be
next
this
movie.
power
Yeah.
struggle later about like this is the right way to do it. No, it's this way.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah,
we'll
gotcha.
get there.
Yeah.
So yeah, then with Genesis and they start like storming the city basically.
Yeah.
Which this is where it really becomes like a zombie movie because you get all this experience of people just like I'm on the highway or I'm on the road, I'm doing whatever, and all these monkeys just kind of descend on them.
And they break out the apes that they set up earlier.
Yeah.
Which I did like that part again. Where I was referencing earlier with the anthropological thing. Where they all grab spears from the wrought iron of the monkey enclosure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're rooting for him. The movie does a good job of that because you're absolutely like, yeah, no, mankind kind of sucks. And they do it in, I feel like
I'm not.
Other than Dodge Langford, I feel like they do it in a good way in terms of like James Franco's motivations were good. In his mind, he was doing good, but he made a lot of missteps that he didn't even realize. And I like that a lot better than being like, I'm just going to whip you, monkey, until you hate me.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm not rooting for the monkeys.
I'm rooting.
I'm rooting that they don't get killed. Like, I'm rooting for them to like get away. But like, I don't think they should be. I mean, they caused a lot of property damage.
Yeah, well, we had
that helicopter pilot was fine.
We made a movie with a guy named Dodge Langdon, so I'm fine with.
Oh, so whatever. Blah 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 blah. There's going to be a big set piece on a bridge because at some point we have to start fast forwarding what we're talking about. This is and I said this movie, A- B+. One of the character beats that is really poorly written is Will's boss. Seemed like a decent guy, just a bureaucrat running a company.
Right.
Cared about money, but it's not at some point he goes, oh, I don't care if people die. Like, he's not established as bad guy. Inexplicably, at the end of the movie, he's just an evil person going, I want you to hunt them! I want you to kill them in front of their children! Like, he just becomes like this...
They really pump him up because he does say the thing like, you gotta save the world and I get money. Ha ha ha. Which, like, yeah, you're a piece of shit. But there's different levels of piece of shit versus.
But that's
just,
not
like,
even piece of shit.
Wipe them all out.
The first part of his statement is, a guy I employ is going to save the world, and I get rich from it. Yeah, douchey.
Yeah.
But that's actually a really good thing. If one of the Rothschilds go, I'm going to make more money by saving the world.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude!
These aren't the people that made OxyContin. This is
he's just a normal business guy. He's actually funding something that could help mankind.
But then
he becomes fucking just mustache twirling douchebag at the end, which is I have very few complaints about this movie as far as like, kind of the actual character structure in that one. Really,
it was a little much because they really lean on it towards the end because all these monkeys start trying to go across the bridge because they're trying to get to the forest you saw earlier.
Yeah. In this sequence, they've got cops on horses, and they've got the guy from Genesis in the helicopter. He's doing the beat from In the Air Tonight. He's going to shoot all the apes. Horse cops, they just hit them with batons.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest shit. It's one of those internal logic things that just immediately, I'm here. I'm watching a movie. I'm into it. The apes are smart. They're doing the thing. Why the fuck would horse cops be trying to take down apes, which are exponentially stronger than us, hitting them with fucking billy clubs? That's the dumbest shit. It really annoyed me to the point where I go, oh crap, I'm watching a dumb movie and it's poorly written. Like, it took me out like a razor down the fucking center. Just took me out of the goddamn film.
It was a pretty dumb choice.
Oh yeah, that was a rad moment where they're setting up a trap on the bridge to basically slaughter the monkey. The police are setting up a trap on the bridge to slaughter the monkeys, and Caesar recognizes it and then sends some up and then some under.
Right.
Which again, it's one of those. Hey, maybe they're a little bit smarter than us.
Right.
Or
well,
at least smarter than cops.
There's also the issue where there's a fog, so they're losing the monkeys in the fog. Because way to go, San Francisco. You damn idiots having fog on your bridges.
Yeah, rice-eating jerk-offs.
Someone should have thought of that. Yeah, at some point, the cops have them pinned down, and the Caesar sends all the big gorillas to like knock over a bus, and they use the bus as a shield. And I actually did this. So I was watching the movie.
A bus and attack the cops?
No, but so I was watching the movie, and I'm like, oh, the score's there, and a score is fine. It's just another sort of it exists in the movie.
Generic. You
don't remember it later. So I was like. Because at some point after they blocked all the bullets from the cops, Caesar comes riding up on a horse. I was like, what if I could improve it here? And I actually rewound it. And the moment when it's revealed it's Caesar, on my phone I started Thin Lizzy's The Boys Are Back in Town. And this is true for so many movies. Yeah. You could if you think of any listeners, if you think of any other ones, please comment on it or whatever. But that made that following sequence just so much better. To have the boys are back in town, the monkeys like fighting the cops, and doing all this stuff. When in doubt, go with Thin Lizzy. So they've bypassed a lot of the cops like that. Caesar's leading the final charge, and then the cops in the helicopter, along with the head of Genesis, are trying to attack them. But then, so you have this final standoff where the policeman in the helicopter is like blowing apes away. You see one like fall off the bridge, or whatever. And then one of the big gorillas, like you've seen this I've seen this.
Well, I think it's the gorilla from the cage. I think that's what they're leading us towards.
Jumps out, which made me think, how many fucking movies are there now where someone jumps at a helicopter in slow motion? Going back to even like The Matrix and probably before.
I think upwards of 2.
Yeah, at least
maybe
2.
3.
Yeah, okay, because I hope there's not 4, because that's too many. So then the gorilla does it and brings down the helicopter. And then you realize that, the Genesis guy is still there. He's said, I'm Phil Collins, no jacket required.
Yeah.
No, he's and Caesar is looking down on him. And it made me think of fucking, what's that piece of shit? Batman Begins, where he's like, I don't have to save you. I don't have to kill you.
Yeah,
but I don't have to
totally.
save you. But then, Caesar just calls over Scarface. Guy's like, you kill him. And Scarface guy kicks the helicopter.
Scarface looks at the helicopter and goes, I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Yeah.
And just pushes him off the bridge.
He's like, the world is yours. Brian
Lord.
Palma. And then, then they escape to the woods. And James Franco has chased them into the woods because the girlfriend has done the one thing she does in the entire movie and distracts a cop to let him get past the
I forgot about that.
Yeah, because it doesn't matter.
God, she's so...
Yeah,
it's not the actress.
No, yeah.
Sorry, just going back. We spent a fucking half an hour talking about this, but like, oh God, it's just...
Caesar encounters, like, he's like, come on, Caesar, we'll go home. And then Caesar's like, Caesar is home. And James Franco's like, yeah, I get it. And then leaves.
Yeah.
And then you see them all, Caesar climbs the tree again, you see them all in the trees looking down. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, the apes, they're good. And then the movie ends, and you start getting the credits. But then I do like this. As far as like a post-credit scene, I think this is great. Where you start seeing a couple credits, and then you get, Hunziker leaving for his work being a pilot, coughing up blood everywhere. Well, you don't realize this, but like he's got a little bit of cough. Then he gets to the airport, he's coughing blood. And then you see the flight manifest or whatever, and it zooms into it, and then you start seeing just this pattern of like how the disease is spreading. So it's not even about the apes killed mankind. It's still mankind killing mankind. And I like that little subtle, like, hooray for the apes and mankind, you dummies.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't even know you were doing this, and you ruined everything. You blew it up.
You damn dirty apes.
The apes didn't blow it up, you maniacs.
Yeah, whatever.
Same thing.
I've never seen the movie. I've only watched The Simpsons. That's it. That is Rise of the Planet of the Apes. I wish I'd seen the sequel. I probably will eventually. Because frankly, I loved these movies growing up, and the originals, and it's odd to say this. I'm excited to watch the sequel, even though it came out like 4 years ago. Yeah. But man, I want to see what happens. These crazy apes doing their crazy things. So I think it's obvious that I give this movie a you should watch it. Like, I'm not saying go out of your way, but like it's totally worth watching.
It's fine. Yeah. It's totally passable. Again, under 2 hours, so that was something. Yeah, it's fine.
I had a lot of fun with it. So John, we have to do another show next episode.
By law, we have to.
And I was thinking this. I was thinking that I need a really good segue to say that we're watching Venom next time.
Yeah, well, it's Valentine's Day. And what's more romantic than a dude being covered in black goo that does things, right?
I mean, it is.
If you think about it.
It is a really good story about like a codependent relationship. And that, I mean.
We just did Eyes Wide Shut. And so it's basically Eyes Wide Shut. But what if Nicole Kidman was an alien goo?
So we're watching Venom. The inexplicably popular and money-making movie starring Ed Hardy, whatever his name is.
How dare you?
Tom
Hardy is my special little boy.
I want you to remember how annoyed you were that I just called him Ed Hardy right now. Yeah. And after you watch Venom, I want you to rethink of my statement and go, you know what, Alex? That was probably the most correct thing you've ever said in the history of the show.
He's my perfect special man.
No, he's got flames up his side. He's diners, drives, and drive-ins or whatever the fuck that show is.
Ooh. I don't know. I don't want to watch this now.
Well, too bad.
Tom Hardy for a
Venom.
special
It's
little
available on places. Who the fuck knows?
Yeah, Redbox.
Redbox.
Other boxes.
And yeah, that's it. Oh, John tells me to remind you guys that patreon.com/AlexBolin is my Patreon. You can get some extra stuff. I have a post on there where I read a short story. It's not funny. I mean, really, there's no cross-contamination, but, fuck it. Support me.
Or donate to my super secret Patreon, which exists solely to undercut Alex. Yep.
Please watch the movie. This is one of the few times I'm telling you what. Oh, God. And spoiler alert. An alien symbiote from outer space.
No,
we're saying it.
No.
An alien symbiote calls the guy a loser. It's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It is, oh my God. So,
Calling a guy a loser, dumb. Calling a guy on a phone, brilliant. Fifth Element is the greatest movie ever made. No, I get it. It's fine.
He says the word loser.
Yeah.
If the space evil said, yo, jerk off, I would think the movie's dumb.
Doesn't he?
All right,
We'll
fair
argue
enough.
that for 4 hours next episode.
Next episode, we're watching Fifth Element again, a.k.a. Venom. Bye.
Bye.